Hey everybody, greetings from the dank basement. Pardon the shades, but some days my eyes are more sensitive to light than others, and since you wouldn't want to watch me sitting in the dark, I have chosen to put on the shades and turn on a light. Use my snuff handkerchief. Let's do a pinch before I start rapping at you. I never, ever get political, ever, on this channel. It's all about snuff. And this isn't really politics, and it's not even really about news. It's just a question. With all the Brett Kavanaugh stuff going on, I just have watched both CNN and Fox switching back and forth between the two of them, occasionally dodging over to MSNBC, to see what the cable stations are saying about the news in general. And it's all Brett Kavanaugh 24/7 all the time. So that begs the question, what else is going on in the world that we're not necessarily hearing about? Let's do this pinch and talk about it. I'm going to talk to you about Central America, which is burning right now. And I mean burning. But here we go. Up yours. And CNN, Fox, MSNBC, Reuters, Drudge, Huffington, up yours. And I do mean up yours. So anyway, back on the 28th of April, 2018, the president of Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega, announced that in order to balance the country's budget, they desperately needed to double the Social Security contribution, what they call the caja, or the box, the chest, the community chest. And they're going to double contributions for workers to that, but at the same time, they want to cut the benefits for pensioners in half. This immediately prompted righteous indignation, anger, fury, and the usual stuff you have erupt on university campuses. Riots were almost immediate in Granada, León, and Managua, the three largest cities in Nicaragua with universities, sites of the three largest universities. Pretty soon, our old friends, the Sandinistas, begin making waves. Someone starts asking whether it's actually government troops or paramilitaries posing as government troops. Start asking people if they're for the navy blue and white, or the rebelde, the rebels, or for the black and red, the Sandinistas, currently in power in Nicaragua. If you give the wrong answer, you're likely to be killed, at the very least robbed, beaten, and in the case of vulnerable women, particularly raped. There are currently in Nicaragua 700 confirmed dead, and the number seems to keep mounting a little bit every day. There are an estimated 1,100 disappeared, whatever that means, in quotes. And depending on which source you look at, anywhere from 42 to 72 credible reports of torture at the hands of police and paramilitary. These tortures include, but are not limited to, electrical torture and torture by rape. So if this is going on, our news isn't touching it. It's not touching it. The United States Embassy in the end of April, early May, evacuated all of its, quote, non-essential employees and their families back to the United States. As far as I know, the United States Embassy in Managua is still running on a basically skeleton crew with increased security, and things like visa requests and so on are not being processed in the American Embassy in Managua. Most of the highways are frequently closed, if not constantly closed, making transit and the movement of life essentials, food, water, fuel oils, etc., impossible or difficult, and therefore more expensive. Currently, 7,000, according to the official estimate, Nicaraguan refugees in Costa Rica, but the number is probably closer to 25,000. And again, depending on news you hear from the ground, you'll get the idea. It's a great deal more than that. This is, as one might expect, affecting Costa Rica gravely. Costa Rica, the Switzerland of Central America, no standing army, a national police force that is largely voluntary, called the Fuerza Pública. It does become careers for some officers, but basically it's the militia. It's their volunteer police department. And then they have the OIJ, their version of the FBI, OIJ, And one of their officers was killed last week by a protester in the city of Heredia, just north of the capital of San Jose, Costa Rica. Again, because of a labor strike that started 3 weeks ago and a national stop that started last week, nothing is moving. Fruit and vegetables, dairy products are rotting at the ports of Limon on the Caribbean and Caldera on the Pacific. Cancer patients were denied life-saving, absolutely essential treatments by striking hospital workers. So 80 people did not get their chemotherapy. People that needed life-saving surgeries in public hospitals had these surgeries delayed. In one case, one very widely publicized case, protesters actually blocked the operating room to prevent the non-striking doctor and nurses and anesthetist to go in and perform the surgery. This has all been going on in Central America. Why do you give a damn? You think we got problems coming north across an unsecured border now? I mean, even if you're for open borders and immigration, you have to recognize, logically, that's a huge demand on national resources. Whether it's housing, sheltering, protecting their rights, in some cases trying to uphold the law, sometimes with disastrous results in the public eye, like the idea of caging children and separating them from their mothers and all of that. And all of this stuff is going on. You think it's bad now? Where are these people going to go? Where would you go? Where would you go? You're Nicaraguan, you're Costa Rican. In Nicaragua, you not only have government and paramilitary violence, but you've got increasing gang violence from the highly touted Mara Salvatrucha 13, MS-13. Or other gangs. There are criminal mafia, is what they call them down there, maras, gangs, bandrillas. And they're making life impossible to live. Very high crime in Honduras right now, very high crime in El Salvador right now with the emergence of MS-18. If you thought 13 was bad, wait for the sequel. MS-18 makes MS-13 look like a nursery school class, I am told. All of that stuff is happening to our south right now, not to mention what you already knew about: bankrupt Haiti, bankrupt Venezuela, people unable to get medical care, food, diapers, life necessities, fresh drinking water. Now, all of those people still manage to have satellite TV and internet, and I tell you what, they know it's good here. Of course, we are blessed by God in this country. It isn't perfect, but it's the best country on earth. I still believe that. I was born on the 4th of July. I was born a patriot with a bottle rocket in my hands and a couple more in my pocket. But the fact of the matter is that these people are suffering right now. Our news is not touching it. Why? Yeah, I know the Supreme Court nomination is extremely important, and it really is. Whichever side you're on, it's going to be important to you. If you are polarized to the left or if you are polarized to the right, this is a key Supreme Court nomination. But man, there's so much other stuff going on in the world. Sorry for talking about it, but it's kind of a pet thing of mine. See, I happen to love Costa Rica. If I were not a U.S. citizen, I would rather, if I could not be a U.S. citizen, I would want to be a Tico. I would want to be a Costa Rican. The whole national attitude and everything that I've known up until recently has been pure life, pura vida. It's been fantastic. I love the Costa Rican people as individuals. I've met Costa Rican people from all stations of life, from one of their highest placed lawyers in the country and a diplomat, all the way down to beggars and street whores. A lot of them are my friends. I like the Costa Rican people a lot. I like the Nicaraguan people maybe even more, although I know fewer of them. And I'm telling you guys, they're suffering and they're going to want a place to come. Don't worry about walls. We got way bigger problems. And one of our biggest problems is our news is ignoring what is important. I just heard about a half hour of spirited debate, which means basically everybody talks over everybody else and nobody listens to the other person's points. And it was a spirited discussion. Well, that half hour of over-analysis that Fox News just did could have been occupied reporting the news of the freaking world. Enough. Widen your focus, U.S. media. You've already lost most of us. Most of us don't believe in you. And when Google and YouTube and everybody else on the goddamn planet deplatformed entertainer Alex Jones, you don't think it could happen to any of us? What if some anti-tobacco freaks hit this channel and go, you know, he's a funny guy and he's promoting tobacco and our children will want to put tobacco in their nose. My God, they're already eating Tide Pods and putting condoms up their nose and pulling them out through their soft palate. Oh my God, the snuff maniac is going to make our children take snuff. And I could be deplatformed tomorrow. In fact, why don't you guys go ahead and start flagging me? I'm really kind of getting tired of the responsibility of showing up on YouTube all the time. No, please, because they'll find a reason to deflag you or to deplatform you and take you down. I've seen it happening all over YouTube. Extreme left, a little. Extreme right, a lot. And boy. So, anyway, that's my rant for the day. I gotta do another pinch of snuff, you guys. It's the only thing that will console me. I want to talk about the snuff real quick before I ring off here. I had almost enough of the Irish DH toast to fill this genuinesnuffhouse.org plastic snuff box, which I bought from MrSnuff.com. Don't ask me how much it cost. I don't remember. It's overpriced. You know, their accessories are overpriced. That's maybe how they make up the difference for having such great snuff prices, because their snuff prices are very good. But, so I had this Irish DH toast from Wilson's, which is no longer being made, so I know some people are going to just go, sacrilege. But I took that, because it's not really one of my favorite toasts. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. And I almost filled this little tap box, snuff box. And there was just enough space, and I had like 5 huge pinches of the Toke USA whiskey and honey. So I mixed in there, so that's what I'm doing. Grab a pinch with your squinty, although I'm not calling this video a pinch with your squinty episode, because I did want to talk about the media and this incredibly narrow pinpoint, and it looks to me to be really politically motivated focus that is ignoring everything else that's going on in the world. And there's some heinous stuff. You know, in Paris, they just uncovered an Iranian plot to blow up a major public building, and our news hasn't even touched it. So there was a mention in the crawl. Well, I'm sorry, I'm blind. I don't see the crawl. So maybe they are covering the news, at least with the crawl. But I don't see that, and I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments. Let's do another pinch here. Pinch with your squinty. Ay. Stop bitching about the news and find some cartoons. Yeah. The cynicism of a Family Guy, South Park, and or Simpsons might set me right today. What do you guys say? Okay. Thanks for watching, and thanks for putting up with me bitching. I appreciate it.